Hello, today we're talking to Mr. Wayne Turner, the inventor of the breastfeeding invention. So, Wayne, would you kind of give us a little intro about your background and how you arrived at coming up with the invention?
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, good to see you. My name is Wayne Turner. I live in Auburn, California, and my background was mechanical engineer. I used to work for McDonnell Douglas Aircraft back in the 80s and 90s.
Wow.
I've since retired, and so in getting into how the invention came out, the breast shield with suckling motion one-way valve. My wife is an RN with a neonatal intensive care background, and also has a world accreditation for lactation consultant. She's a board certified lactation consultant. She came to me with my daughter many years ago, well actually about 10 years ago, and said, is there anything you can invent that will allow a person to lay flat on their back and be able to breast pump for breast milk? And so my daughter at that time was in the military, and I put together a prototype, and I flew out to Georgia where she was stationed, and she tried it in her home, and the prototype I put together, it allowed her to breast pump breast milk while she was laying flat on her back. And so we named it the the breast shield with suckling motion valve, one-way valve.
So that ultimately became this patent, right? The U.S. patent number 117595554?
Yes. And many thanks to you, Mr. Tran.
Well, it's a pleasure working with you. But here we have the pictures of the invention coming up, and maybe it's more helpful when you explain with the diagrams.
So in looking at this, what I did, I took a regular breast shield that is available on the market currently, and I positioned a valve, a one-way motion valve, or a one-way valve inside the breast shield there, as the nipple, as the lady is laying flat, the nursing mother is laying flat on her back, she can position this breast shield into over her breast, and she can turn on the breast pump. And then you see the numbers 152 and 154 there in the diagram, figure 1B.
Right.
All right, you attach, what you do, you attach some lines there to accommodate the nipple length of the mother. And as you have the breast pump pumping and the vacuum process, the milk will come up out of the valve and go out one of the hoses, one of the tubes, the milk tubes, into a container. And so, anyway, it's very simple, and it allows the mother to lay flat on her back. There's a better picture there. Let me kind of go over this real quick here. So you will attach the breast shield adapter on the top of the breast shield, which is the invention, and then you turn on the pump 200. You're going to turn that on. It'll start suckling process. And so as the milk comes up out of the nipple there, number
310. Yeah.
Yes, milk will come up out the valve and go out one of the milk lines, the tubings. And I don't have it displayed there, but the invention works beautifully.
Fantastic. Yes. So your own daughter was the first user.
Yes, she was the first user of the prototype, and we were amazed how easy it worked. And so my wife asked me if I could put together a possible patent application and see if we could market this. So originally I found a patent attorney in Southern California, and I spent a lot of money with him, and he meant well, I believe, but I don't think he had the experience that Mr. Tran had. After several years dealing with him and the patent office, I wasn't really getting anywhere, so I felt a change was necessary. So I found Mr. Tran here, Mr. Beautran, in Northern California, and looked at his success and reviews and whatnot, and I was very pleased to see that he had had the experience that I was looking for. So I contacted him, and he took over my case. He understood fully from the very, very beginning what I was needing and what I was looking for, and I had all the files transferred to him from the patent attorney. And he took over, and we started the process. He rewrote a lot of the verbiage, if you will, in the patent application, and then next we got a patent examination through the patent examiner up there in Washington D.C. area, and so that became a whole new process. We got a meeting with him, and Mr. Tran addressed the issues we had got shot down with from the other attorney. And the patent examiner was very good, but very strict and firm in his position. And he kept saying there's too many other patents like mine out there and whatnot. And so Mr. Tran, artfully and with articulation, was able to show the differences between what was out there in the market as well as what we had, which he showcased the differences, which was the main thing. And we eventually got allowance. I was shocked. We got allowance, and we've got this patent and a similar patent to it, and we have a pending patent as well. And so I'm very excited, and currently I'm going through the process of doing a 3D prototype. I have a company that is working on a 3D prototype, and I'm going to be presenting this to the market, the big breastfeeding companies, Amida, as well as Medela and whatnot. And so I'm very, very pleased with how Mr. Beautran has done my case. And I must say, it was very reasonable pricing, too. I couldn't believe it. I had paid a lot more than the original attorney, and Mr. Tran was always fair. And he did some wonderful, he's always available when I call him, too. That was the main thing, too. The other guy, the other attorney, sometimes I would call, I wouldn't hear from him for like a week. And I said, who wants that? And you got an attorney working for you. And his assistant would always, give me some excuse that he's not available currently, and they want to set up a meeting through the emails and this and that. Very formal process. Mr. Tran, I picked up the phone, I could call him, and it's a great relationship, and I value you, Mr. Tran, for helping me out a great deal with this breast yield with suckling motion one way back. And so anyway, we're in the process of finding someone to license it to, and that's just around the corner, and hopefully this is going to be sold in the United States here real soon, to allow the mothers who want to pump their breast milk by using my device, and allowing them to pump in a position either laying down or in a recliner, something that will help them, because a lot of times, as my wife said, working with new mothers, they can't, they have a hard time sitting up and pumping, leaning forward as they're doing the pumping, and the breast milk, they have to be able to relax. And so anyway, hopefully this will be something they can use, and we're looking forward to it. And again, I can't say enough about Mr. Tran. He's been awesome, wonderful man, very, very good guy. I can't believe how good he is, and how he was always available when I had a question. So I recommended him to you. Very, very positive note, positive way. All right.
Wow, that's the best rewards one can get is appreciation for the work, right? And it's always a pleasure to work with you, Mr. Turner. So that's exciting to hear that your product is now moving toward the commercialization side. So it sounds like you reach out. You're building a model, a working model, a 3D prototype of this, and then you're gonna be approaching these companies. I'm curious, how did you identify the licensees of the potential licensees for your invention?
Basically, you go online. I mean, I went online and I found the companies that best, that sell the products, the breastfeeding products. Amida, Medela. There's a whole bunch of them. My wife really likes Medela.
Yes, it's a great company.
Yes, a great company, number one throughout the world, and so we've not approached them yet. I'm getting things together, 3D prototyping, as well as a informational sheet. I'm going to have this done in a professional manner, and so we can present this to the company. But there are a host of companies out there that sell breastfeeding products, but my wife, coming from her background, always talked about Medela, because they're in a lot of the hospitals, and Amida as well, Amida. And so I'm going to approach them and see what we can work out.
So are you going to reach out to them by LinkedIn, or how?
I'm actually going to. Yes, I'm going. They've got I found a contact list of their people in the corporate offices. You know, the president, the vice president. I'm going to actually reach out to them, probably by mailing them giving them personal mailings with the actual 3D rendering, as well as a informational sheet that we have showing the patents and whatnot.
Excellent.
How we're going to go about it that way. Yes.
Oh, I wonder if this device is inexpensive enough to make in the 3D printing. I wonder, and since you're reaching out to only 3 or 4 companies, it may be interesting to actually enclose an actual unit so that they can touch and feel it. You know, that might be interesting.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, no, that sounds exciting. You know, it's always good to hear entrepreneurs like you going through the process. The patent office is not always the easiest one to navigate through, but you've done that successfully, and now you have a concrete plan on commercializing the product. So it sounds very promising. And you know, and by the way, I just noticed your shirt has a UT. Is that a UT logo you have there?
University of Texas.
Ah.
Yes, I went to school there and loved the Longhorns, and I loved the especially the football team.
Wow. And then from Texas, you made your way out to California for the aerospace industry.
Yes, I did, and that's where I met my wife. She's from Southern California.
Ah.
We ended up here in Auburn, California. We've been up here for the last 20 years. She did work at Phoenix Children's Hospital in Phoenix, and the mother-baby unit there as well. Getting back just real quick here and briefly, she's, over the years, seen so many new mothers have a difficult time breast pumping their milk.
Mm.
So this invention allows them to lay down or lay back in a recliner and be able to pump the milk. Very simple process, and I'm surprised somebody didn't think of it earlier, but come up with a way to allow them to pump upside, where they're laying on their back, and the invention allows that milk to come up out of that valve and out the milk tubing into the container. And so it's very, very easy process. And hopefully it'll be on the market here real soon, and we look forward to it.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's a wonderfully easy to use device, and the importance of it is clear because your wife is experienced in that space and she's seen the problems, and so that's really, I think, seeing the problem is probably the most significant part of the invention process. and then of course you apply your mechanical expertise in getting the design to properly getting the milk out, even if the mother is lying flat. And so those are the things that occur during the natural process of inventing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I sent you a prototype video, correct?
Yes.
You will be able to show your audience, their viewing audience, that prototype video, and it becomes more clear to the person viewing the video how this works. But I want to add one other thing too that I think is very important. The previous patent attorney, he said, when I asked him if I could attend one of the meetings with the patent examiner in Washington, D.C., he said, oh, that's not necessary. Sometimes it doesn't go well. And so he actually said he had several meetings. I don't know if he had any meetings at all, because he said, well, we weren't successful. He told me that a couple of times, and then he gave me an actual email that this first patent here was shot down, and it was not allowed. He was ready to move on to the next patent with more claims. But that's when I got Mr. Tran involved, and he took over, and we got the meeting right away with the patent examiner, and he articulated our different parts of the patent, of the prototype that were different than what was already out there on the market. And he was able to take a very knowledgeable, good patent examiner and kind of change our direction. And the patent examiner actually ended up agreeing with Mr. Tran's, your position. So again, thank you so much.
I remember that. I think it was you were about to give up on that one, and I said, "Oh, let's give it a shot." And we worked hard at it, and we succeeded.
Yes, you said no. I don't think. In fact, your words were, "I'm going to see." You said when you first saw it, you said, "Let me try pulling the rabbit out of the hat." My wife was there during that conversation. She said, "That was clever. I've never heard it put like that. Give me one shot, and let me see if I can pull that rabbit out of the hat." And you did. You did. So.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have a good result for you. That's the best reward one can get.
Yes, absolutely. We thank you so much, Mr. Grant. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. It sounds like an exciting journey, and it sounds like you're finally getting to the point where you're going to commercialize and make money out of it. And so we wish you the best. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, but also to other inventors about your experience going through this process. It's not a straightforward process.
Yes, and I want to thank you too again. I might need some help in the negotiations.
Absolutely.
You're there, willing to help me in any way you can, so I truly thank you again. And a real wonderful pleasure, and we're working forward we've got that third patent out there with additional claims that we've
Exactly.
in line right now. We're waiting on the contact back from the patent office on the third patent, but again, I look forward to working with you in the future, sir, and I appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Turner, and you have a great day.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining our intellectual property education series. We hope that this journey has empowered you with the knowledge to navigate the world of patents, trademarks, trade secrets, and copyrights. Stay inspired, protect your innovations, and continue to explore the boundless possibilities of your inventive mind through the intellectual property system. Subscribe for more insights, and until next time, innovate boldly.